After we're done with our general philanthropy. Yeah. Oh, you were going to steal it, was you?
General philanthropy.
That's just what is still occurring. First target, we're aiming at sports chatter. So,
add in sports.
go deep with the ball.
I was hoping you'll add in things later. Probably won't.
I think this is funnier.
Yeah.
So the elephant in the room in our local sports world here in Seattle.
We drafted an elephant.
We drafted an elephant. Put them all together, the size of an elephant. Seahawks drafted a number of players, a couple more picks than we walked into. That's good. We didn't trade. We still traded down, but not out of the first round. I can't remember our last first round draft pick. Who was it?
Our last first round?
No, I was letting you lead into Mr. Pennyworth.
Oh yeah.
That's first round. I don't give a shit.
Well, now I need to answer that. It's Jermaine Ifedi was our last first round pick.
Oh yeah.
So
he's doing good.
Yeah. So let's get started. Do you want to talk about general opinions first, or do you want to go into the details?
Yeah. No. Give me your overall. Are you happy with the draft?
I don't. It's always such a wait and see thing. I think that our drafts have become less impactful the further removed Pete has been from college.
That makes sense.
Yeah, of course it makes sense. And I still think John Schneider and Pete Carroll make a great team. And last year I was incredibly excited about the draft, and I didn't see much of those players make an impact. Now, they could easily... Shaquille was 2 years ago. This will be his third year.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so...
I don't know that.
So, I can't... Chris Carson was in that draft. Can't remember any of the players at this point. But I'm hoping that those players, step up. But now there's more opportunity because we have less established veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite curious. I'm quite curious to see what happens. There's a couple picks that I am stoked on, obviously. But what about you? What do you think so far?
I tend to always not side with the team, but I'm always like, Sounders are doing really shitty right now. I still think we're gonna win the championship. That's my sports mentality.
They
so
are?
Well, we're only 6 games into the season, so
Okay.
we still got 5 months. But when it comes to the Seahawks, I'll be critical, and we'll vet that out in this microphone. But I am always find the silver lining, if you will, in every kind of pick. So it's our first round draft pick. We really sucked at blocking everything, and we our running game. Okay, we got a running back, is what my point is. Cool, that's really great. But it really was the running back as a human being, as an athlete, the problem. When we got Chris Carson, he's coming back from broken ankle, but it wasn't like his ligaments were exploded. It was clean. It was all muscle. And we have still the free season, later draft picks to pick running backs. So I guess that's my critical side was getting an actual position as the running back in the first round the right way to go.
So I see where you're going. Do you want to jump into this right now, or do you want to finish up your general thoughts?
Okay, well that was my microcosm of my opinion.
So just to summarize,
of the whole draft, my critical side
is the first round pick.
Is the first round pick. Because I think you either could get 2 more picks, a second round and another third round pick from that. But I'm still happy with that player, so I'm content. As a fan, I look at the whole thing and I'm stoked. I love Rashad Penny as a running back. I love the Shaquem Griffen, 1, story, and 2, he's a baller.
Yeah,
he's a baller.
Yeah.
Broke records.
Yeah, let's go down.
So,
let's go through the draft.
I'm just highlighting things that overall made this I'm really happy with.
Okay.
So run it down.
Awesome. So with the first round pick, the 27th overall, the Seahawks picked Rashad Penny, running back, San Diego State. Now, Rashad was the league leading rusher this year in college football. Now, granted, that is in the
Mountain
West Conference. So he plays teams like Boise State and
But they did play Stanford. They did play Arizona State.
Yeah. And
teams
they had
the Huskies lost to.
Yeah, and they made a bowl game. And
any team over 500 makes a bowl game.
No, I understand that, but there's like 7,000 teams.
I think they were 10-3.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And I think they played Army actually.
Yeah. He also had the fifth most rushing yards in a season ever and receiving yards ever for a running back.
That's awesome
this season.
And
that's a good.
And he's a big boy. I like his size. And you know what?
He's exactly Marshawn's size.
Yes. And so I want to say two things about that. It's interesting you brought that up. First round running backs and Marshawn Lynch in general. So there's been a trend recently of first round running backs making a impact right away. You've got Todd Gurley. You've got Zeke. You've got other people that I can't think of. But I we still have Chris Carson no matter what. I don't think Kamara. I think he was a third rounder. Yeah. I think that I just think it's cool that we're going that way because we still have Carson. There's no reason. And if there's any front office that would be
my point is the first round is a very valuable draft pick and expensive one.
Yeah, I get that.
So
I get it.
We already have Chris Carson. Continue.
I will point you to Matt Flynn. We don't care. If Chris Carson ends up starting, okay, yeah, we wasted a little bit of money, but we've also saved a bunch of money by losing some of our veterans. So we'll see what happens. Secondly, there's a little bit of precedent for the last time we got a first round running back was Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
And the only other time we got one was
preach Jesus right now here in
was
Seattle.
Kurt Warner, like the running back. Mm-hmm. But another first round running back, we didn't draft him, but we traded for him when the other team was getting tired of him, is a little guy known as Marshawn Lynch. Yeah. And so, nice precedent there. And so, I'm going to be excited.
Well, let's take on the running back for a quick second. There was no round 2, so it gives me an extra 30 seconds. That kind of goes against your philosophy of running backs that you've told me throughout our lifetime together. Is that any athlete could be a running back.
No, I agree. So I used to feel that way, for sure.
But or do you think there's like a first and second round threshold where you're a freak, you're good?
I think that the league will eventually adjust, but I think that over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of spread option and spreading the offensive around, making more holes, having mobile quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So it's been easier for running backs to, break out and make plays. Also, according to Chris Carter, running back is the most easily transferable position from college to the pros.
Yeah.
Hit the hole and run.
Yeah.
And so, while you're right, anyone could do it.
And avoid everybody.
Yeah, I mean...
You really just need to know a blocking scheme.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't know if I'd make it, but it's really cool that he's the all-time leading rusher. It's really cool we got him. And, look at Kareem Hunt. He came from a small school last year.
Yeah.
And so, it's not a disqualifier.
Yeah. I mean, I'm as a fan, really stoked on Rashad Penny. His highlight reel is awesome. I tweeted out on our tweeters. Mm-hmm. I linked the video, but the moment in the highlight where he running left side, and a guy grabs his jersey from the back. And it's like 2 yards into the run from scrimmage, and he finishes at 12 or 13 with the guy still being dragged behind him. Awesome. He ran 30 feet with a grown-ass man pulling him down, and he stood straight up. And
Tune in soon for a GIF of that, as provided by Aaron.
Yeah, maybe.
Am I good distance, by the way? Am I getting too close?
Yeah, there's no point in whispering in.
I thought I was trying to maybe let you edit it out or something.
You don't have to lean in so much, but maybe we'll keep this in.
Okay. Okay.
This is only Ian's second time with a microphone.
Yeah, just be gentle. I'm going to last a lot longer.
Oh, I'm clipping. Stop it. Lay down and take it.
I've had sex before. Says
the leader of our nerdverse. All right. Yes. So happy with Penny. What do you think about? So we didn't have a second round pick. We had a third round pick though.
Yes, we did. It was the third round pick, 79th overall, Rasheem Green, defensive end from USC.
Have you seen his face?
No, I just watched a little bit of highlights.
Okay. He's got face. Love it.
Well, now I need to see this. Why don't you talk about it a little bit while I Google him?
No, it's just, Peter Gallagher has eyebrows just like him.
I don't know who Peter Gallagher is, but
type in Peter Gallagher right now.
Wow, man, this guy is straight out of 1993.
Yep. And
This
so
is
is Peter
great.
Gallagher, actually.
Okay, yeah, let's see this.
He's an actor.
Peter Gallagher's white.
Yeah, so? Racism.
I'm sorry.
His eyebrows.
They don't look the same. Okay.
I'm not saying they look the same. They have characteristics.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So he's the dad from the OC, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was thinking of a Sandra Bullock movie back in the mid-90s.
Okay.
But okay. Peter Gallagher. TBD! All right, Rasheem Green. Yes, I'm sure he's a great kid.
Yeah, I'm sure he did really well in school.
Yeah, I'm a USC defender. So that's a school that is a conveyor belt for NFL defensive players. I tackled one.
This will be a common occurrence in the TBD podcast.
Yeah.
Wow, where are our show notes? Okay.
Screw you, Taylor Mays! My shoulder still hurts from your knee.
We have an audience and you don't, Taylor Mays. We made it.
Yeah.
So, first team All Pac-12. Great.
Rasheem Green.
Yes. And so really happy about that. You know, it addresses a need for sure. He's listed as a defensive end, but according to the article that I was reading about the Seahawks draft,
he's a defensive beginning for the Seahawks.
And so he also played defensive tackle. So Sheldon Richardson was a defensive tackle. He's taller than Sheldon by an inch, but 20 pounds lighter. But I looked at Bennett. He is the exact same height and the exact same weight as Michael Bennett.
I wonder what his combine
I didn't look.
In terms of just athleticism.
Well, didn't Bennett go really low in the draft? Like, I'm sure he did poorly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember.
I guess my point is you can't take it to the bank.
But I think that's a fun correlation that, you know, Bennett played both defensive tackle and defensive end, you know, based on whatever the fuck we wanted to do in this situation. And
so do you have any notion of precedent for like 40 times for defensive ends?
Oh,
so
absolutely.
He ran a 4.73.
More the cone.
Ran a 4.73.
Okay.
Vertical jump 32. Broad jump 118. Three cone jump 7.24. And then 20-yard shuttle 4.39.
Yeah. No, he's that's pretty athletic.
Yeah, I mean, he was the defensive leader on a decent USC defense.
Oh, yeah. No, they were great. They were good. So anyway, but also you got Pete Carroll. So is that, I mean, John Schneider and Pete Carroll are really good at their job. I'm not sliding Pete Carroll, but that is his, not alma mater, but where he coached.
Won a national championship.
Yeah, and he had one taken away. But is that more like, does he still have connections, or do you still talk to people there? I mean, he's an NFL head coach. There's things that go under the table in terms of communication, just finding out players and scouting. So does he have better scouting for USC players than maybe, you know, another coach?
I don't know, man. Like, when he got to Seattle, he didn't really pick that many USC players. He picked Earl Thomas.
Yeah, but when he got to Seattle, to your point, he knew the whole landscape.
The reason he had such good drafts, it wasn't because of his college. It was because of his high school recruiting. Like, he wanted Bobby Wagner for USC. I remember him saying he wanted...
that's what I mean. That's why I feel like his draft picks were incredibly good earlier. But then earlier in this episode, you mentioned that he's been so separated from that. Now he doesn't see those prospects coming through the pipeline. So I wonder if USC... This is totally, like, could be just hearsay. But he's probably a really good player that they really looked into. The school doesn't matter. But
you never know.
You never know, and
he's probably got
a third round for the Seahawks is a first round draft pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Just happen to have a first round draft pick. This, so
and you know it's funny you say that. Like, I think he's got like a Pac-12 connection. He knows all those coaches.
Knows like a janitor at the Coliseum.
Yeah. You know it's funny you mentioned that though with like college connections. So our fourth round pick 120 overall, Will Disley.
Hi, Will.
and he is from the University of Washington.
UW.
And so he actually played defense until switching to tight end, I think, either last year or the year before. And he's addressing a need. Let's look up his stats. Let's see if we were talking about
what
this.
What was he on defense?
I think, let's find out.
Was he a defensive end? Was he defensive about his end and he's worked really hard? Now he's got a tight end?
He was probably just tired of saying he was making all the players Disley.
He looks like a Will Disley. Hi.
Hang on, let's see.
Sure, ma'am. I can help you across the street. I'm a nicer Peyton Manning.
He's from Bozeman, Montana, so there you go.
Yeah.
Wow, look at him. That's a good old boy. Okay.
He is a nicer Peyton Manning.
He
Oh,
is.
my God. We're just like, if Peyton Manning
we love you,
was a career
Will.
bagger.
So,
Yeah, I know. It's been raining for about 9 days.
okay.
You brought your own bag. That's good for the environment.
That's really nice.
Sturdy.
So he has 9 3/4 hands. 7 3/4 more than mine.
That's 3/4 more than Shaquem Griffen.
Burn. Too soon.
Not too soon. He's a badass.
So 6'4", 260. I don't know how much like Jimmy Graham.
Well,
weighed.
so Will Disley is. I looked into him a little bit because I was like, really? Okay. You walked me home from Safeway, got my superfood in the fridge,
Yeah.
the photo box on the counter, and now the Seahawks drafted you. Who are you? So
he looks like the
he's
nice
a
guy,
blocker.
like the nice friend, like who the girl will have
Well,
as a
hold your
friend,
hair, yeah.
and like, he'll just like sit there your friend for 9 years.
And
Yeah,
that's
kiss on
really
the
weird
cheek.
internet history
Oh.
because of that.
We love you, Will. We're sorry.
Sure, you can say that.
So he's a blocker.
Yeah, but he can catch. He's
Right.
actually his highlight reel. I watched that as well. He's had a couple little moves. I don't know if that's just no way. This guy's good. Oh shit, he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a blocker, and that probably comes from the defensive side of things. They're probably like, oh, you're pretty agile for probably a defensive end, is what I'm going to assume he is.
Mm-hmm.
To get on the edge battles like that, so familiarity from the other side of the line, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of players know how to catch a ball, just not at the level of receivers. And so maybe he was on that 90th percentile college player that could just catch balls and drills and stuff. And they're like, oh, you'd be a good tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, he was. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with that. I've never really been upset with any of the Seahawks tight end draft picks.
No, I mean
The signings, yes, I've had problems with.
we need I don't
love
see
Graham,
him. I don't see him
but it
as
worked out.
replacing Jimmy Graham because I don't feel like
Oh, I
he
don't think
should
so either.
replace Jimmy Graham for that skill set.
He's gonna
He's
be
a Luke
more of
Wilson.
a John Carlson or a Luke. More of a John Carlson. Remember him?
I do. I remember him. I miss
Good. It was like 4 years ago.
Zach. No, it was not 4 years ago. That was Matt Hasselbeck.
John Carlson. Oh yeah, no.
Notre Dame. I remember.
Yeah,
he's pre-new uniforms.
Yeah, I know him. And then Zach Miller.
That's what I was trying.
Yeah.
One of two tight
one.
end Zach Millers. Yeah. Those are people that fall into my free agent pickups and fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so next pick coming in at 6'1", 225 pounds from the undefeated University of Central Florida, defeaters of the LSU Tigers in the Sugar Bowl or something like that on New Year's Day.
Probably.
I was super hungover that day.
Sounds like a plantation
Yeah.
game.
Whoa.
It's Louisiana. They still exist without the slaves. They're still a real. It's a farm.
That is not true. They all fell into the earth.
They should.
We don't grow anything anymore.
They fucking should.
So this is Shaquem Griffen. I just want to say
Shaquem for a dream.
he was all over the news and people were talking about him. If Johnny Manziel can go in the first round just because he was hype, I'm amazed this guy fell to us in the 5th round. I'm so happy. I thought he was going to be a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. I thought someone was just going to grab him.
And obviously he's got one hand. We're pretty transparent about that.
He led that team in defense.
Dude, I am 100% on your side. This is my favorite draft pick because of the connection with his brother.
Yeah.
That's cool. because of his stats, what he's capable of doing, because of his athleticism. Like, are you fucking kidding me? He's one of the faster players in the draft.
Fastest linebacker in the last 15 years. He benched more with one hand than Calais Campbell.
It's ridiculous. No, this guy's he's a freak.
Calais Campbell's like Sauron. Dude's horrifying. He's an ant. Ants are walking trees, Aaron.
Over here.
That's what he sounds like. That's what Calais Campbell fucking sounds like.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway. But, no, I love Shaquem Griffen. I love the pick. And that's all withstanding him not having a hand. And I think as much as a team wants to say, that's of course not what we're thinking when we just, picked a better player for us. You can't, obviously,
People buy into
corporation.
Hype. People buy into hype,
which
is marketing.
There's that side of things where that's great for the Seahawks, but he's actually going to give us something on the field. And Barkevious Mingo is his competition. So he's going to fucking start with his brother as a fucking rookie.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the the talking heads in the mornings, and
the talking heads.
And they were saying that it's the best place for him just because it's his brother, obvious.
Yeah.
Not just because it's his brother, but like what that actually leads to. So him having to, quickly understand and how to onboard into just being able to play football. Where to live, dealing with your money. Little nuances like, when I think it was Chris Carter was like, hey, when they say come in for practice at 7 a.m., do they actually mean 7 a.m.?
Pause. Aaron's right. Shaquem Griffen was a rookie last year.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Born in 1995. I hope it is. January 24th, 2017, NFL PA Collegian Bowl.
What round did we draft him in?
Aaron's round.
So this guy...
I was just going to say they're both starting rookies.
No, I love it. He'll have Bobby Wagner to teach him.
KJ. That will be our defensive linebacking band.
It's gonna be great.
His speed is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He just has to do better in coverage. That's all he's really got to learn from his.
Just rush the passer for now. Rush the passer for now, and stop the run. He led the team. He was the defensive leader on that team. It was an undefeated team in a non-FBS conference. Goes to one of the major FBS bowls. That's not FBS anymore. It's college football playoff. And defeats a perennial power in LSU. This dude has lived with a chip on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
His whole, obviously for obvious reasons, but there was a video that one of the people we went to high school with shared online, and it was just him like talking to the camera, and it kept panning to like kids who have deformities like that.
It's called I Am
Shaquem Griffen.
Dude. The NFL Network made
Dude, it's so good.
No, yeah. I've watched it multiple times.
Everybody watch that. It's if you don't cry, you're...
Well, Ian.
You're a plantation if you cry.
Link it for them. Link it in our Twitter.
We will link it.
The Real TBD Pod.
Yes, okay. Anything else you want to say about Shaquem? I think there.
You put this note and you didn't really say it.
He's a winner.
He's a winner.
I did say that. Yeah.
Oh, I thought
undefeated.
I thought that meant more like he wins the draft.
Oh,
no.
The
Seahawks.
I might give him a participation trophy. I'm going to deliver one to him.
Okay.
So, they say, un, deux, trois, Trey. Flowers.
Many flowers.
Yes, he's very flowers, not many. So, in round 5, we had a lot of picks in the 5th round. So, our second one was the 5 picks later from Shaquem, Trey Flowers, cornerback, Oklahoma State. And this is our heir apparent right now to, probably taking Shaq's spot, and Shaq will take Richards, and then he'll be on the weak side. Yeah, but he's a prototypical Pete Carroll drafted cornerback. He's 6'3", 202. One difference is that he was a safety in college, but I remember
what difference compared to what?
From Richard Sherman.
Okay.
I think he covered. He played corner, but he's never started as corner. So,
Trey,
like he would play corner in some sets.
I mean,
I read it.
There's a high chance he could start.
I think he could. Yeah, Jeremy Lane's gone.
Yeah,
maybe Justin Coleman.
There's a high. Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a high chance the way that we do business, and you mentioned it, that the way we do business during off season. Matt Flynn, get the fuck out of here, $15 million. Russell Wilson starting, he's better than you. So that size, I think, makes Pete Carroll take Seltzer Wada.
Yeah.
Drops Alka-Seltzer at night because he keeps thinking of Trey Flowers playing next day. It's corner.
Well, then we also got a couple guys from last year. This guy, Mike Tyson.
I love that.
Yeah, we drafted him last year. He was a big corner. He didn't get any action.
Big corner.
So, I mean, let's go. Competition. Go back to your roots.
I mean, we're pretty much there, but this time we actually have some key cogs in the wheel that are already there starting guaranteed all-pro Hall of Fame players to play with. So it's not like 2012 and 11 when we brought these players in and they really had no one to play around and learn from. They learned on their own. They created their brotherhood, their legion, and that's how they became who they were, at least as a defense. Russell's done it himself on offense, kind of behind Marshawn Lynch. But now it's Russell's offense, so those players come in, they're going to have to play off him, and this is now Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas, KJ Wright's defense.
Yeah.
Frank Clark, throw him in there, I think. I mean,
I think Jaron Reed.
This was the year, and maybe, but I meant in terms of the brotherhood.
Yeah.
I think Frank Clark, he is now up. He's got a cloak.
Well, we'll see.
Frank Clark's got a cloak just like Earl.
I'm not going to give it to him yet. Like, he hasn't made a name for himself, and he could just leave this. He could leave after this year. He very well could. He could pull a Paul Richardson.
I think the omission of Bennett on the roster is going to give that pivot.
I mean, there's a lot of things that it's going to depend on. Like if all of a sudden, if Josh Rosen, drafted by the Cardinals, turns into a beast.
He's got a face that looks like his last name.
Yeah, and he's an asshole.
Rosen.
Yeah, he's an asshole. But
I am the best thrower.
Yeah. Everyone made a mistake on me. Oh, they will regret it for. He's like the guy.
I was really hurt, guys.
Yeah.
From the UCLA game where he came out and he was just like, my hand.
He looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
All right, kind of. No, it's like if Napoleon Dynamite and Kylo Ren became the same person.
Yeah. Or had sex.
But anyway,
and had a baby
on a plantation
with a lightsaber.
That's impossible. We've talked about that 2 episodes now.
Did we really talk about a lightsaber?
We talked about what would happen if you blew a lightsaber, I think.
Oh, so we're at first base,
types
home
of
run.
Sex.
We're not done with the cycle yet. Next episode will be what's second base and third base with a lightsaber.
Okay, I thought you were about to say oral sex was first base and home run was second base. I was like, what universe do you live in? Like, shove bricks people's ass for like
live fast, die young, my friend. As I drink Boda Box at a home with my wife and my puppy.
Let me sip my decaf iced Americano.
Live fast. I got my license this last weekend.
Play toys, drink LaCroix.
I like that one.
I thought of it this afternoon. Yeah, I was like, I'm going to use it.
That's a memer. Yeah. People love those LaCroix now.
They do.
So pops. It's popular.
Okay, let's move on.
My future daughter.
Okay, sad note. We drafted a punter.
Sad note, dude. He's nosy.
Yes, he is.
Pulls ball.
He's got some good stats. I didn't look this up, but I wonder if he was the highest punter picked in the draft.
Ever?
No, just this year.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Probably. Was there another punter, and why didn't we get him? Why didn't we trade down for him?
Solanigans would just have ensued. Okay, so
Solanigans.
Is that what it was? No, it's philanthropy.
Philanthropy. No,
I'm just innately.
We're
funny.
doing this for free, so it's philanthropy.
Yes,
and then Solanigans
is just what ensues during philanthropy.
Yeah, it's the verb of philanthropy.
And when we make it, we'll be Solillionaires.
Young Molly Solillionaires.
Okay. God.
Did you just do your little finger snap like you were like in 14th grade? 14th
grade.
Yeah, well, you kind of were.
Oh, yeah.
How many college?
This many college.
That many college. Even.
Okay, so...
You're smart. I got infinite zero or whatever. What's that?
What?
A complete zero. What is...
Absolute zero?
Absolute zero college right here. Hi, everyone.
You went to school? For took like 3 classes or something like that.
Let's hope my
You epitomize the college try.
Yeah, I do. I do indeed.
Okay, so we drafted a punter, which I don't know if we'll keep 2 punters on our roster. So John Ryan.
I want to see that competition. Like, I want to see it take place. Is the entire team on the knoll that all the 12s get to sit on usually?
Yeah.
And they're just watching them punt?
Yeah.
And they're like,
oh. This is my little aside. I've told you this like in real life, but I want to put it on the podcast. I think that there should be a show like Eastbound and Down that's about a kicker and a punter. And they just get fucked up all the time, and then they have to like get their shit together and like play fucking football.
Would you say they kick it? Oh my god!
Yeah.
This show is called Kicking It. Kicking It. What are their names? Terrence
Winthrop.
Terrence Winthrop.
And
Carl.
Billy Carl.
Billy Carl.
Billy Carl.
Carl Bill and Billy Carl.
I don't trust people with 2 first names. All right, so
punt.
No, it'd be called Raging Punts, dude. It would absolutely be called that.
Raging Punts. That is, hey, give me props if you're going to say it.
Aaron one time sneezed while saying Raging Cunts, and he said punts, and I was like, that's really funny.
Well,
that's not what happened.
From me.
He named our fantasy league Raging Punts, and I thought it was really funny. My girlfriend was like, that's not that funny. Okay. It's not that funny. And I'm like, yes, it is really funny, actually, so...
Yeah, but the picture up front of our league is John Ryan with flames behind him,
walking away from an explosion because
like,
he's a cool guy.
Yeah, so raging punts. So it was funny. So anyway, I think Michael Dickinson is a raging punt.
Would you like to tell us about some of the stats I painstakingly researched?
He led the nation in gross punting average.
His punts were the grossest,
the nastiest punts. He also pinned opponents inside 20 for 50% of his punts.
Which is what you want from a punter.
And he didn't even kick the ball. He was like, get back there, motherfucker.
Actually,
Half the time it worked.
He was a nice Aussie. He's like, hi, guys.
Hey, guys. Hey, got a Bobby over there. Let's go hang out.
Friends are on the sideline ready to come in. Why don't you get behind the 5-yard line and make it really hard for yourself?
And grab a Foster's.
That's
not a knife. This is a knife.
Okay, moving on.
Whenever you have the opportunity to say the 5 phrases in Australian accent that you know, do it. Promise you it's fun. Unless you're listening to this and you don't think it's fun.
All right, moving on. So our final pick in the 5th round, pick 168, Jamarco Jones, which is also coincidentally the name of a board game.
What?
No. I don't know. Well, play Jamarco Jones.
No relation. just Jamarco Jones, no relation. Not to me.
Not that Jamarco Jones. People, get your head out of the gutter.
Anyway, he was the first team to ever make it to the 10.
My notes say first team All Big Ten.
Big accomplishment.
He's the first person to count all of his big toes.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure he's very smart. So
where did he end? He started at left tackle.
Yeah, so I guess he started behind a guy who went in the first round a couple years ago.
That's not illegal formation to start behind a
guy. And
not as a lineman. Of course.
I will be interested. You know, it's interesting. So he's first team All Big Ten. He started at left tackle, which is a very important position. I just like when I was.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm being facetious.
And so.
If people are still listening to us talk about the Seahawks, they probably know that's the most important line, other than start the ball. Here, ball, go.
Start the ball. Ready?
Use your hands, Carl. Oh, okay. I thought get center.
Bill Carl.
Now I want Brian Regan to listen to us. He'd probably think we're funny. Now Jim Gaffney.
Probably just think we're copying him. Just being typical Jamarco Joneses over here.
Those bastards.
All right,
scurrying around.
So my only thought about this guy is he seems like a football player, but
so we drafted football. Not football. JJ Jones.
We got it, except for the guy who kicks it.
No relation.
Which is not real football.
He was drafted after a punter.
Yeah.
Here's John Sunder. Hey, brother, how you doing? We're gonna pick you right here, 168. How you feel about that, huh? Yeah, right. Hey, Pete Carroll, stop. Hey. Who's Michael Dickinson? Well, hey. Carol, come on over.
So yeah, we got him in the 5th round. I was just he was all first team All Big Ten, and I just want to comment that like it's crazy that you can get that kind of production out of the 5th round. So we needed depth in the offensive line, and we probably could have done a little more, but we got someone. What are your thoughts on that? We talked about the offensive line last week.
Someone, and it was a lineman, and we got that as our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as our 7th pick.
Okay, so moving on.
We had 8 picks.
Moving on, we
had 9 picks. Go us! We walked in with like 6.
We're really smart.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'd like to see it.
So we got a defensive end in the 6th round called Jacob Martin. He went to Temple.
Also drafted after Michael Dickinson.
Yes. Finally, the gem of gems. Aaron Lingley, would you like to walk us in?
I would love this. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Draft a quarterback, Alex Magoo.
From Florida International University.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that the... No, that's Everest. Hey, what are you doing on your couch? Come on, get up. I have a hat on sideways. Go to college.
Go to college.
Yeah, Alex Magoo.
You can go.
He's in college. He's got a certificate. Printed 8.5 by 11.
You put your kids in daycare. You go to college now.
Gotta do, Alex Magoo. He could throw a football through our face, I'm pretty sure.
You'd also probably just abjectly kick our ass, too.
Okay, let's Google him.
I've seen him.
Oh, I've seen him.
He's not the first.
Just
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Alexes.
In the ever?
Oh, he's the second Alex M, though.
Oh, and I type in MCG and I get the second one is Magoo NFL.
There you go.
So it looks like his team wore cool jerseys.
Lane Kiffin is his coach.
Florida International. What's international about Florida?
They played.
There's a lot of good Cuban sandwiches.
Wouldn't likely.
Oh, he's got arm tats though.
That's important.
Savage. Hey.
So I guess I read a thing that I read a quote from John Snyder, and he was just saying,
"What if Sam Darnold and Magoo just threw footballs at each other for a half hour straight?"
If that was the competition,
yeah. Last one standing. First round.
Oh, that's funny.
The next one gets the last name Magoo. But I've been Alex Silver forever. No, you're Alex Magoo today. You'll be drafted. I've been Alex Steele, a Razorback for my whole life.
Alex Steele, Razorback. Yeah. Skywalker the 5th.
Yeah. Lord.
So anyway, John Snyder was saying, like, because he's from Green Bay originally. John Snyder as an executive, and
his brother,
and he was just making comments about how in his previous experience with the Packers, they did a really good job of cultivating backup quarterbacks, and so,
and yeah, they did.
You know, we didn't do very well with Trayvon Boykin. So,
Boykin.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares when your quarterback has played every second?
Yeah, but
I would say, but like,
well, look about Tom Brady
started every game. It's not gonna last forever, but I mean,
well, Tom, like, he had 1 year. He had 1 year where he didn't play,
yeah.
But then they had from that they got Matt Castle and they got Jimmy Garoppolo and they got Jacoby Brissett, and they just pumped out. I feel like they always botch those trades. They got really high picks and then
getting
they
their investment back.
No, I get it. I'm saying, and look what they did. Why can't we do that? It's like Matt Flynn. How much did Matt Flynn get just for being Aaron Rodgers' backup?
I think that's what makes Belichick and whatever GM works under him a great quarterback.
Yeah, I don't
a
even
great
know the
coach.
GM. Yeah, you don't even.
Well, it's because I got you 3 rings immediately, and so I do. You do whatever I say, and Robert Kraft is on his side. But he's not wrong. Well, but he's in control when there's like 2 instances of cheating, that are like whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
But I respect Belichick, and I think that is a great thing to do, and I think that it's just not a Pete Carroll thing to do or a John Schneider. I think they look for players that can play immediately, and they look in the draft for players that, hey, we can cultivate you, but we want you to compete and start.
Talking about Seahawks or the Patriots?
Talking about Seahawks. Yeah, I'm saying that's what's different about them. They're
not
not looking for quarterbacks to play.
No,
and they're also not even giving a shit about what can we get back from this pick that we got 2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, so that's enough to do about Magoo. Let us continue with the sports chatter, but now that the draft has happened, free agency is pretty much done. Did we? I can't remember if we got anyone in free agency. I'm sure we did. I'm sure we talked about it last
Fluker.
week. Ah, yes, DJ Fluker.
DJ Big Guns Fluker.
Yes, and so
Fluker.
let's look ahead. We just spent some time talking about the draft. Let's talk about the upcoming season. The schedule for 2018 came out a little while ago. Let's see how we think the Seahawks are going to do.
Well, we just talked about the draft. Let's give everyone our rough draft of the season. Okay, break time.